Are you ready for the latest and most exciting Disney news? Let's go check out Destination D23. This weekend we are here at Disney's Contemporaries Resort to check out Destination D23, which Disney themselves describes as the biggest Disney fan event of the entire year, where they are going to be sharing tons of news and updates on Disney parks and Disney news around the world. I'm so excited. So just in case you're not entirely sure what D23 is, D23 is Disney's official fan club for the entire Walt Disney Company. The D stands for Disney, of course, and the 23 actually stands for the year that the company was founded. The D23 kind of club was founded in 2009, and it is mainly known for its D23 Expo. So the Expo is actually every other year, and the next one will be in 2024. Now this weekend we are here for Destination D23, which is kind of a smaller convention that has a lot of exciting things, but maybe not as much big stuff. Now, all of that to be said, there will absolutely be Disney news this weekend, especially when it comes to the parks, which I am so excited for, and we might even get some new glimpses and sneak peeks at some of the movies and things that Disney has in the works, as well as hearing from other Imagineers and people within the Disney company to tell us things that are coming up. So traditionally when it comes to D23 Expo, that's kind of the flagship event where all of the major announcements are made, and Destination D23 is really focused more on the history for those die-hard theme park fans, and they kind of offer some insight on projects that are already in progress or projects that we have already kind of heard about before this event. For this weekend, we are going to be seeing several panels. One is called A Celebration of Disney Parks, Experiences and Products, Disney Cruise Line, Epcot, Always in a State of Becoming, the Walt Disney Studios Showcase, and 100 Years of Walt Disney Animation Studios, and more. All right, so for one of the first events, we are going to 60 years of Disney's Audio-Animatronics Technology Exhibit Experience. I can't say that 4 times fast. So this exclusive exhibit will showcase the evolution of the art and its related technology all about audio-animatronics through a pretty diverse showcase of rare assets, photography, and even vintage archive pieces from the Walt Disney collection. And it even has all of the documentation and the naming of the celebration of key moments throughout Walt's earliest inspirations and development of modern audio-animatronics. I'm pretty excited about this one. Okay, next up after our first exhibit, it's time for a little shopping. So we had to bring Cassie with us to shop.
I'm so excited to see you get me for my birthday.
It is her birthday right now, today. I'm getting your gift here.
Yeah.
That's exactly, yeah.
I won't look.
No. Thank God, I forgot our gift. So when it comes to shopping at D23, it is fairly exclusive, and they do give you select times that you have to arrive, and if you miss your shopping window, that's probably it for you. So luckily for us, we're here just in time. You have an hour to arrive and to grab your bands, and they even give you a fun little shopping bag. So when you are shopping here at D23, you're going to be able to explore a completely transformed shopping experience. We're actually going to see a bit of Mickey's of Glendale, a fan favorite brand like Ink and Paint Marketplace, and for the first time ever at Destination D23, they're having the Walt Disney Company store, which I'm personally very excited about. Is that your birthday gift? Yeah. I'm actually, did you notice the $10 keychain? It was really cute too.
The $10 keychain, it
yeah.
Good.
Not birthday material though. Got it.
I mean,
Got
this
it.
would have been really nice, but
hey, no, it's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's yeah, of course.
I have keys.
Okay, next we're gonna check out the Ink and Paint Market. A huge section in this area is the brand new lug collection that Disney has been partnering with. They have tons of items. They're great for travel, but the most exciting part is there are some Disney collections as well. These are going to be spotted throughout Disney World starting in 2024, but they are going to have the Run Disney collection out in 2023. So keep your eyes peeled for those. This is an exclusive here to D23 that we're seeing for the first time. This is also where you're going to find the Rock'em Socks collection, the Joffrey's collection through here, Corksicle, and even the Disney Citizens collaboration, as well as the Disney 100 Sunglasses Hut section. And for our third and final stop, we are here in Mickey's of Glendale, which looks like where I might be having the hardest time financially. There's an entire Muppet Studio section. Come on. Supposed to not be spending money this month just because, you know, everybody needs that, but this Kermit the Frog pen, I'm breaking that rule. For this alone, I'll break that rule. Now, we just wrapped up the first morning session. We just had some lunch. The morning session was so much fun, and this is where the news came in, okay? So, my friend Kermit, he was here. Kermit and Piggy and the Muppets, they were all here. It was so crazy. They actually helped usher in some of the biggest news, and it really works out because literally, I just saved Kermit from Dr. Allfears, which was crazy. I didn't think I was gonna do it, and if you wanna know what I mean by that, go watch the Disneyland Ride Challenge. But Kermit and all the Muppets helped usher in some of the news, so let's talk about what we just heard. So first up, Star Tours is actually going to be getting some new characters. Ahsoka is going to become a major part of the popular Star Tours attraction that is here in Disney's Hollywood Studios in Florida, Disneyland Park in California, and Disneyland Paris beginning next spring. Next up, we have some new characters coming to the park, which is huge. We're going to be seeing Asha from the new movie Wish, and she's going to be popping up in a few places, actually. She's going to be coming to Epcot, Disneyland Resort, and Disneyland Paris sometime in the near future next year. Another big news is more of a confirmation of news that we already knew about, but the Hatbox Ghost is actually going to be coming to Magic Kingdom in November. So we already learned where he's going to be standing at the end of the Endless Hallway at the beginning of the ride, and we already knew that he was coming because we found out at the last D23 event, but we weren't quite sure when he would pop up and start haunting, and now we just found out it's November. Another sneak peek that we got that I am personally dying over is we got another sneak peek for the new ride coming to Avengers Campus over in Disneyland. So it's going to be a new world jumping vehicle that's an attraction coming to Avengers Campus. This attraction is going to be themed around the multiverse, where you're going to actually get to see different characters and pull them in to help defeat King Thanos. We actually got to see some concept art of the ride vehicle, which Disney kind of described as combining elements of Tony Stark's time jump suits with Zendarian technology and Wakandan technology. It's very early on in the process. Disney didn't share a ton, but the concept art from the car actually looks pretty similar to the Cosmic Rewind car, and it is going to go through a jump point, so I'm really excited to see more about this ride. Another personal, major, huge win for me is that the Country Bears are kind of getting a reimagining. So they're going to be adding some new music. They're going to be singing Disney-style songs in the style of country music. On the new poster that they gave us to kind of celebrate the new reimagining of the Country Bears, Liver Lips is sadly now going by Romeo, and I'm guessing Blood on the Saddle is probably not going to make it into this new song lineup. Now, still hanging out in Magic Kingdom, Disney is being a little bit cryptic, but they announced the first of its ever kind of new lounge coming to Magic Kingdom. They used the word experience when they were talking about the new Pirate Lounge that's going to be popping up by Pirates of the Caribbean, and Imagineers are still in the designing process, so we don't really know what that means. We also got some major opening dates for Epcot, which we are so excited about. Journey of Water inspired by Moana is going to open on October 16th, and also when that opens, we're going to be getting a brand new Moana meet and greet right by that attraction on the same day, October 16th. World Celebration, which is kind of towards the center of Epcot and the last neighborhood that they've been kind of reimagining, is actually going to open in December of this year. A new nighttime spectacular at Epcot is going to be called Luminous, The Symphony of Us, and it's going to be debuting on December 5th, 2023. Finally, we heard that Test Track is getting an update. Concept art shows a forest. I don't know what that means, but I'm very excited. Disney has actually recently announced a ton of new information about their newest ship, the Treasure, kind of as a part of the lead up to D23, and we did find out a little bit earlier this week that the newest ship is going to be sailing in December 2024. But what we did learn today is about the next ship, its name, and we got a little bit of a new look at Disney's new private island.
Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point.
They're going to do a 3-night preview cruise on the Disney Magic on June 6, 2024 out of Fort Lauderdale. So those guests leaving on that cruise are going to be the first to see the new island. The 7th Disney cruise ship is actually going to be called the Disney Adventure. It'll be the first Disney ship to sail from Singapore through Southeast Asia. You're going to see Disney, Pixar, and Marvel stories on board. And this is one of the 3 ships being built right now. So there's one more that we don't even know the name of yet. Now, when it comes to the overseas parks, Disney actually gave us some glimpses at new lands opening over in Shanghai Disneyland, Hong Kong Disneyland, Disneyland Paris, and Tokyo Disneyland, though there were really no new announcements a part of that section, but they did give us a few glimpses. Now, when it comes to blue sky projects, they talked about some things that they've kind of hinted at in the past. They hinted at some new things coming, and frankly, I'm excited for all of it. So when we say blue sky projects, that's really when Disney kind of talks about their big ideas. So it's stuff that they could be considering or stuff that they're talking about, but isn't necessarily set in stone. So when it comes to Magic Kingdom, they teased about things that are a little bit more real. When it comes to that Magic Kingdom expansion, they described new things that are similar in scale to things like Disney's Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and Pandora, and they said it's bigger than New Fantasyland, which is really, really exciting. They referred to the space that they have behind Big Thunder Mountain Railroad to expand, which they have actually talked about with their blue sky ideas in the past, but we've not really heard anything super concrete in that regard. Another thing that I am actually so excited about, and is probably my biggest and most favorite news, is Disney actually confirmed that Dinoland Retheme that we were all kind of holding our breath on is officially happening. So they actually brought up some ideas about what they had talked about at the last D23 Expo, and they actually shared that a new show based on Zootopia is going to be coming to the Tree of Life. It appears that it might be replacing It's Tough to Be a Bug. Again, keep your eye on the blog and we'll confirm that as soon as we know. Dinoland is actually also going to be reimagined into a new land that's going to be inspired by regions, sometimes referred to as the tropical Americas. And this is where I got really excited. So in the past, when they talked blue sky ideas for this area, they discussed things like Moana and Zootopia, and honestly, reviews of those ideas were kind of mixed. Now, when they were confirming some things today, they did discuss Encanto and Indiana Jones as being considered for this new land. And if we get an Indiana Jones ride, you guys will, frankly, never see me again. If you don't know, the Indiana Jones ride over in Disneyland is actually the same track technology that they use here for Dinosaur in Disney's Animal Kingdom. So that track is already set in place. And honestly, if Dinosaur has to go, and I don't want it to, but if it has to, I won't be upset if we replace it with Indiana Jones. Finally, for our major news that we heard today, we got to be some of the first people to see the new Figment character meet and greet. Figment came out on stage, he was dancing around, and that's when they surprised us by telling us that the Figment meet and greet is gonna start tomorrow over in Epcot. This is something that they had teased in the past and we knew was coming, but frankly, we didn't know when, and apparently it's tomorrow. And by the time you guys see this, it will have already started. We're in the car because we just finished the entire second day of panels over at the Contemporary, and now we have something exciting coming, but we just wanted to do a big wrap up of what we got to see and hear about outside of the major news. So this morning we got to sit through several interesting panels outside of the major newsy ones, and for me, I was really interested in the one that focused a lot on the early years with Up iWorks, who is a major partner for Walt Disney and created a lot of the Mickey shorts and the Alice shorts that Walt did, and was a really key player in the early days. And we even got to hear from his own granddaughter, Leslie iWorks, who directed the Imagineering story. So it was just a really neat panel, especially if you're like a Disney history nerd.
Oh yeah,
like I am.
It gave us those Disney feels, those chills.
Yeah,
those nerd out moments.
The nerd, like, I can't believe that her grandfather created all of this. And it was interesting because he doesn't, obviously he's not Walt Disney, so his name does not get brought up as much, but he was just as like integral to the company. Next, we heard a lot of D23 updates for next year's D23 Expo, which they're pretty major. They are completely switching up D23. They're going bigger and bolder. And if you are really interested in that, we have full details up on AllEars.net right now. All of the details are there and it is going to be huge. So we're really, really excited for that too. And then finally, the last panel for the morning session, it's called 100 Years of Classic Characters. Outside of the news, it was easily my favorite thing because the voice of Mickey was there, the voice of Goofy, the voice of Minnie, Jodie Benson, who is the voice of Ariel, was there, even the voice of Miguel was there. I mean, it was like, for me,
it was amazing.
It was incredible.
It was kind of like, it was so
trippy.
It was trippy because like they're so charismatic. It's really funny to see them as actual people, and then they can just switch into those voices like that, and then they'll start to say some wild things that maybe Goofy shouldn't be saying. Yeah, but I enjoyed it.
But they made us giggle. They were so incredible, and they also talked not just about like their work being the voices of those characters, but what they do outside of the recording booth to kind of like add to the legacy of the characters, which I've never even considered.
Yeah, and also because they're kind of ambassadors for the characters too, which that was a really interesting touch point for me.
was just like, I don't know, the Disney nerd in me, the kid was like, I can't believe I'm in this room right now. Like, it was so neat. And then they did a section where all of the voice actors got together and basically read through like classic Disney attraction lines. And that was wild. It went on for a really long time. And it was just one of those, like, hearing Mickey play the gangster from the Great Movie Ride was something I never thought I'd be privy to.
It was
crazy.
Cute. It was so much fun. It was like a vocal, the Great Movie Ride, I think is what they called it. And it was just so fun because it was basically like a dry read. So they were kind of just like messing up, laughing at themselves, pulling all these voices out of their bodies. I loved it.
Okay, so for a fast wrap up of the afternoon section, we started back with a Nat Geo section, which was actually really beautiful.
We had a good time learning about whales.
We had the best time. Weirdly, it was one of my favorite ones. It was so much fun. And then the chief editor, right, that's the title?
The editor-in-chief of the Marvel comics, he kind of took us through the history of Marvel, and they showed us this new action figure that I think was 25 inches.
Massive.
I don't need it, but I think I need it.
Oh, it was one of those, like, visually, that was stuck out to me. It was so interesting. And they talked about the full history of the 60 years of Marvel, which was really neat. There was also another panel called 100 Years of Innovation, where some Imagineers came out and chatted with us just about, like, the entire history of what Imagineering is and what they're working on now.
There were limbs.
Yeah, there was
that
limbs.
Was exciting.
There was literally Abraham Lincoln's hand there, which was something I didn't think I would see.
It wasn't a mold, it was the president's hand.
Yeah.
Don't know how they swung that.
I don't think it was legal.
Impressive.
But it was interesting. It was one of those, like, especially, again, this is for the Disney nerds. We're all the Disney nerds. So this is just like feeding that, like, interest in all of us. Finally, they wrapped up the entire day with the panel called Epcot, Always in a State of Becoming.
The Epcot panel almost made me feel like we should go to Epcot.
That's crazy that you say that. We're going to Epcot. Let's go. One of the things we get to do as a part of the entire D23 event, not just media, but everyone, is we're gonna get to check out Journey of Water inspired by Moana at night. This is the first time anybody's gotten to do this publicly, and I am so excited, so let's check it out. So we just met Figment. I don't want to make a big deal of it.
I want to make a big deal.
But it's kind of a big deal.
It kind of changed my life.
Yeah.
It was kind of the most important thing to happen to me ever.
He looked incredible. And I'm going to say this as somebody who's not been a Figment fan. It was pretty exciting.
The yellow sweater was working for him.
He looked so good. He was dancing his little heart out. It was so much fun. Now, we were going to meet him, like formally meet and greet with him. However, everyone's a pretty big Figment fan. So that the line...
It was a painful experience. It got cut off.
We waited for about an hour before we finally got cut off.
We're imagining those opening meet and greet lines with Figment are going to be wild. Probably for a while.
I'd assume it's going to be pretty intense. If Ariel from the live action was anything to kind of like gauge what this is going to be like, and Figment for the parks is even a bigger like icon here.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be interesting. But it was so much fun. We at least got to take some pictures with him while he danced on stage, and it was kind of a huge deal. Another thing outside of just like getting to meet Figment and being in Epcot at night, for the D23 event here in Epcot, they also have some select attractions open like Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind, Test Track, and even Spaceship Earth. So we are gonna go enjoy some rides.
Oh yeah.
And we will see you bright and early in the morning. Okay, it's day 3. They have the Joffrey's coffee truck parked outside. So we have our Joffrey's and let's head into the first panel. A lot has happened. I've actually cried twice already. We'll get into that later.
Choked up like not
like
good.
alligator tears running down my face. But I wanted to take a quick moment to show you that we got Ahsoka ears. And we'll talk about everything else in a second.
You get Ahsoka ears. You get Ahsoka. Literally everyone's getting
Everybody's
Ahsoka
getting
ears.
Okay, so we just finished up the morning session. I cried a lot. We actually got to end this session with a glimpse of 10 minutes of the new Wish movie. We heard 2 of the new songs and we got to see a little bit of that dialogue and the character work. It makes me really, really excited. I think I'm really gonna enjoy it. The songs were very modern, but still Disney. And I think that it's something that it'll be a classic, I feel like. Maybe not like a super classic, but like a Moana kind of classic. I feel really excited about it. They also brought out the character Asha for us to see. Remember yesterday we got that big news that she'll be hanging out in Epcot sometime in the near future next year. But we got to see her today, which is really, really exciting. We also got to watch the newest short that Disney has created in celebration of the 100 years anniversary of the company. So that clip was called Once Upon a Studio. Disney had already previously teased it. We had seen some clips, or some stills, I should say, of the characters. They had over 40 of the original voice character actors in it. There was a scene between Mickey and Walt. That's when I cried my eyes out. Richard Sherman of the Sherman Brothers actually played on the piano from Walt's office for a section of the film, and they even showed us a little bit of a clip behind the scenes talking about that. But as far as the entire panel this morning goes, we talked a lot about even Ahsoka and things coming to the new Disney Plus, when Elemental will be coming to Disney Plus. We got to see a little bit of Loki season 2.
The real reason I'm here, Loki. Thanks to many of you in the world, Loki Season 1 remains the most watched Marvel series on Disney Plus.
Some more things that we got to see this morning was a global ambassador showdown.
Showdown, smackdown, it
Yeah.
was snacks, it was castles.
I will say, so I have 2 I'm going to share. One that I love is the caramel popcorn over in the Germany pavilion. And then Rayvon and I have a little showdown of our own. I am a Mickey's Premium Bar fan.
And I'm a Mickey's ice cream sandwich fan.
Okay, I guess I'll give you that one.
Favorite rides, roller coasters.
It was so fun. They're so charismatic.
They are.
You can tell why they represent their individual parks because they're just really funny people, and they have a lot of love for their park and their park's history and their park snacks and their park's atmosphere.
And like, we obviously recognize our Walt Disney World ambassadors. We see them quite a bit, just through social media and things, but I had never even seen any of the other ambassadors and really acknowledge that fact. And so the way that I was able to immediately feel kind of connected with them, I just was really impressed by. Like, we don't know you at all, but you guys are so lovable and charming. We also got to hear from some incredible animators this morning, 2 of which are working on the Wish movie that's about to come out. So it was just really neat to hear that side of things. And then we also did a panel that was called Weird Disney, which we actually weren't allowed to film, but it was hosted by Brett, who voices Mickey Mouse, and it was just really neat and funny and silly, and this shows kind of some behind the scenes things that Disney used to do that they probably wouldn't get away with anymore, which made everyone giggle. Okay, we are down to like the last 2 sections, so we're gonna go in for the afternoon events, and then we have one more fun little surprise that we'll check out tonight as we wrap everything up. Okay, so we just finished the last official session at D23 here on the last day, and it was really great. A lot of it also I weirdly appreciated. You could not film or take photos of, you just kind of had to be there in the moment. And
She's like, I really
it made
appreciate
us
it because I didn't have to get any
have to video it.
I didn't have to show you guys anything.
It was really special because we actually got to take
it was nice to be in the moment and to just see things that were kind of just for our eyes.
Yeah, and that's what they really emphasized, was a lot of the things that they discussed and the things that they showed were just for our eyes. And that's kind of one of the perks of D23, is they do show a lot of things that really only Disney people care about. We started with a video. It was really a small movie called The Road to 1923, all about how Walt and Roy ended up deciding to go out to California and doing you know, everything that they built.
How they kind of got started.
Yeah.
And it was actually really interesting because they had some clips of Roy Disney talking about Walt Disney that were really rare. So that was really cool.
It was really neat. They used a lot of the audio from the brothers, and the director talked about how it was kind of like a conversation between them. And I think that really read, and it was really cool. So the next thing that we got to do was called Down the Rabbit Hole, and it was all about the Disney that you didn't know. And it was actually really funny.
Yeah,
it was super interesting.
Really cool to see a lot of the photos they were sharing. They shared Epcot's, the first thing built on the land that is now Epcot was a porta potty.
Yeah, famously, people think it's Spaceship Earth. No. It was a porta potty, and it was just funny stuff like that, and like a lot of myth busting kind of vibes. So like a lot of people assume that the guy who hits the golf ball in Soarin' Over California is Michael Eisner. That's like a really popular theory. It is not.
False.
Paid actor.
Lies.
Yeah.
Fake wrong.
News.
Stop sharing it. Stop telling everybody.
They said that's a myth.
It has been.
We are putting it to rest.
Busted.
Yeah, that was a myth busted. What else do we do? Oh, one thing that they brought out that was really neat was like a archival piece that they found after years and years and years, that the Sherman Brothers wrote a song for Maelstrom in Norway, and then it never got used. And it got kind
Fjords of Norway.
Yeah, Fjords of Norway was the song, and they just kind of
performance. They brought out a lot of the panelists wearing
costumes. There was a three-headed troll. It was really funny and cute, and it was really neat. No one's ever performed this song. It wasn't used, so the Sherman Brothers played it on the piano. They didn't really do anything with it. So this was like arguably the first performance of that song ever. For the next to last panel, they did 100 Years of Creativity, where
they went. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. There's so much.
They did 100 Years of Creativity, where they went decade by decade, because they were like up front. Okay, you guys, we're not going to be able to do everything in 30 minutes. So we're going to do decade by decade and focus on one fun thing. So
they did a good job too. Cassie actually took notes because we couldn't use.
We have a very fun archival piece ourselves. The 2020s, decade of Avatar.
2010s was Star Wars, but mainly the comic books, which was really interesting.
2000s, Pixar.
The 90s was
Michael
Eisner, which was very funny. It got a lot of cheers.
80s, Epcot.
70s, what does that say?
You thought the MCU was the first MCU?
No.
The Medfield MCU.
Yeah, the Medfield MCU with Kurt Russell.
Which was a special button.
We did get a button. It was very cute. And then the 60s.
Oh, stop motion. They were really focused on the intro to the first Parent Trap and that stop motion there. That was really fun.
The 50s was Tomorrowland, Mars, and Beyond.
The 40s, they showed a piece of animation that was super gorgeous, and they were talking about like how it's still one of their favorite animations to watch, and they still bring it up in meetings. And I was like really impressed because I was like, this is really beautiful.
It was stunning. At one point, this like cluster of bananas became birds. It was stunning, and that's where Jose became. Like Jose debuted. The 30s was focused on like the skeleton dance, which was the famous animated short, and then the 20s they also wrapped it up with like a nice little bow, and it was all about Walt and Roy, who started it all. It was really fun, especially like just seeing how they kind of nicely tied everything in, and everything they talked about you can either see on Disney Plus or in the parks. So there was like a nice tie-in in that way too. Then for the finale, they went big. We started with the genie on Broadway coming out to sing A Friend Like Me, which was incredible.
He has the most amazing voice.
And he just like put on a show. So it was really incredible. And he actually hosted a lot of the panels throughout this weekend, which we didn't really get into the host as much, but he was incredible for that as well. And then he actually introduced the literal living Disney legend, Jodie Benson, who came out and sang Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid. It brought a tear to my eye.
It was gorgeous.
It was incredible, and you can tell she's just really passionate about the song even after all of these years, and she just put a lot of heart and soul into it, and it was really incredible. And then after that,
they finished off with a big number, the Muses from Hercules.
It was incredible. The music came out, there was a gospel choir.
It was
confetti. I mean, it truly was incredible, and they ended it on A Star Is Born, so it just felt like a celebration, and it was really great. So we have one more little thing to do for the rest of the weekend. We've been hanging out together. Wait, we're almost there. This is something we're excited about, even though it's a little thing. Okay, for our final little tidbit stop of the night, they are ending D23 with a huge bash called the Hallow Stream Costume Bash. There's so much to talk about from D23. The bash was so much fun. We got our cookies. We got little souvenir bags. All of the guests got souvenir bags. It was just a cute way to like celebrate the end of a really great weekend. D23 overall was an incredible weekend. It was a news-heavy weekend, which was really exciting, especially for people like in our industry, like the theme park industry. Like, it's so exciting and there's so much to look forward to. But it also was just really neat to be like a Disney nerd with shared Disney nerds for an entire weekend. So if that's something that you're interested in, honestly, I would check out a D23 potentially.
Yeah.
Overall though, if you want this fast, like newsy weekend and you want it more quickly, you don't have to want to wait, make sure you check out both of our blogs and all of our social media. It all happens in real time and we keep you as up to date as physically possible.
If you like this video, like and subscribe.
And if you want to hang out with us more in Disney World, go check out our Price is Right challenge up on the channel now. I'll see you there.